At the time, we weren't even really looking for a church. We came just to visit a couple times, fell in love with the atmosphere.
We happened to get a mailer, believe it or not, because we had been visiting churches.
We started visiting through friends. They were members.
I think there was an honesty among everyone that you don't find a lot of places, just an openness to share.
They, welcomed you from the very beginning.
The thing that drew us to it the most is its focus on relationships.
But it was just, there was just a great feeling of welcoming and warmth.
And we found ourselves, already feeling like a part of the family.
This church is family. You feel like you're coming home.
You have to kind of come back to the fact that it's all God. God's doing a work here, and we're just kind of going along for the ride.
From the valley He has lifted us and placed us high upon a mountain top. We will sing over the rooftops. We are free. We will be a light upon this hill, vessels we know only He can fill, so the glory of our Father can be seen from the valley.
Well, I've been a pastor in Pennsylvania since 1995. I came out here from the Midwest to take on a youth pastor's job in Sellersville, Pennsylvania. And I really thought I was going to be youth pastor my whole life. I never thought of myself as a church planner. I can't say I was one of those guys that said, man, I can't wait to plant a church. That's my passion. I was always pretty good with just being part of the pastoral team. We had helped start other churches, and we realized that our radius of people coming to our church was getting larger and larger. One of the areas that I came across was this place, this foreign land known as the Upper Perk Valley. And I didn't know anything about this, even though we're 25 minutes from where I used to live. But God led me up here, and through a course of talking to pastors and finding the need for churches in the valley, talking to people who were either leaving the valley to go to church or that had just become disgruntled and disenchanted and hurt by a church and were just kind of existing, I just saw a huge need up here to be a part of things. So through a course of different circumstances and situations, it became really clear to me that God had something else planned for us. So I went to our pastor and said, listen, we've talked about planting a church up in the valley. Nobody that we've got after a step forward. Maybe this is something that God wants me to do.
Early on, when Pastor John and Sandy announced that they were going to be starting a church here, we really wanted to be a part of a church here in this community.
January of 2010 is when we started the church, and it's been amazing to meet in a church that the auditorium's on the 3rd floor. We have literally 5 parking spots that we own, and to see what God's done has been an incredible journey. Planning a church on the negative things you're experiencing isn't going to give you passion for the future. It needs to be on things that you want to accomplish, not things you just don't want to be. So our 5 core values are teaching and living God's Word. And the concept there is that we want to make sure that we have programs or activities that would go along with that. So for instance, we have our sermons on Sunday mornings first, followed by our, what we would, I guess, traditionally call our Sunday school, we call Connections, where we go deeper and wider with the message. The second one is selfless service. We feel being a part of a church family means everybody does something in order to help the body.
Not only are we fed, but we're encouraged to get involved.
This church is really good about allowing people to use their natural gifts and abilities to honor the Lord. So something like decorating that I'm passionate about that you wouldn't necessarily think of as a ministry, I'm allowed to use that here and be creative in that way.
Their attitude is, we'd love for you, this is here, we'd love for you to do it.
And so we think that's valuable because it's so easy to lose that servant's heart, especially as you move along in your Christian life. The third one is relational living. That's probably the one that sets us aside from a lot of them because we're very committed to authentic, transparent relationships.
You come out here and hopefully on a Sunday and you visit, you see that people are really know each other well. It's not just a surfacey thing. Now, for some people that takes time. Others, it's something they have to grow into and get used to. However, we're going to give opportunities for people to really get to know each other, and you're going to know you're cared about.
The kids want to be around, which is cool. It's not just adults with adults, but families.
Even within our service, We try to ask people almost every Sunday to share the God stories. We want to hear what God's doing.
Even people wanting to share a little deeper in their lives, whether they're struggling with their marriage or whether they're having trouble raising their kids or if they're having a drug addiction. That's been open in our service before, people sharing that. And then from that, people will go and meet up afterwards and talk about that, hey, I'm struggling with the same thing. And you're starting to see that culture and cultivate throughout the week and not just on Sunday mornings.
Once a month, they decided that we're just going to have these things called family worships. And what we do, instead of having like our Sunday school or our connections hour, we just all split up and we all go to people's homes over a meal and just get to know each other.
Being part of that with a smaller group of people, we were able to share individually that, who we were, where we came from, how we came to the church.
In a family worship situation, there may be people there that maybe you've never spoke to.
That really impacted us right from day one, to kind of go out of your comfort zone, meet with people that you don't know, and share lives together.
You really learn each other's weaknesses. You see, how can I grow? How can our marriage grow? And how can we grow together to see God do really cool things?
I think one of the big things is it's got to start at the top. You can't expect, whether it's in a small group, a one-on-one group, somebody's got to be the initiator. I can't ask you to share the deepest, darkest secrets of your life. I can't ask you to share the challenges of your marriage, the struggles in your walk with God, if I'm not the one that's first willing to kind of make the step out and do that.
It takes a few people to be able to step out and be honest, risky and honest with their lives, and that sets a pattern for the rest of the congregation to follow.
We want people to feel safe at the level they can, to know that we're a church that's about really trying to do relationships as best we can in a biblical way with them. The fourth one is developing authentic disciples for Jesus Christ. And that's really about how can we help you on your journey to become more devoted in your faith and want to live out your relationship with Christ in a deeper and more purposeful way.
My focus has changed where now it's all about, I understand that nothing that we do gets us our salvation. It's already been paid for.
Witnessing the true example of God's love, and to strive to be everything that He created me to be.
In my own life, I've been learning what is going on in here. What am I meditating on?
And then the last one is utilizing natural opportunities for evangelism.
Being out not just in these four walls, but out, getting involved in the community and showing that Jesus Christ is not just a name, but it's love, His gospel, His hands and feet. Let's provide you a meal, let's help you with the things you need. And then as we're doing that, have an opportunity to share the gospel with them.
So we want to develop a church where we, instead of making the church about saying, hey, bring your friends into the church so they can hear the gospel, I want to help train you so that when you go into the workplace, when you go into other places, that first of all, we as a church have purposefully tried to create good reputation. So when you meet somebody and go, oh yeah, you're the church that they do the donuts and coffee. My aunt's a teacher in the Valley. And so as a result of that, it immediately sets a good tone that we're a church that really wants to be a part of their life and does care, and we're doing that. And then you can easily ask the question, why does your church do that? That opens up a door in many really cool ways where people can say, well, let me tell you about what Jesus means to me and how He's transformed my life.
Well, this community definitely needs a strong evangelical work to be a part of the community, but we have to go and meet people where they are.
And I think that it's a very cynical area. And you could say that about the whole East Coast. We're kind of a cynical, sarcastic bunch, but especially in this valley, like you could tell somebody that you love them, and as a community say, hey, we love you, this community as a church. And I kind of get the impression that they're like, okay, well, we'll wait and see. We'll see how much you love us.
The Upper Pert Valley is an old area in terms of, you look at the architecture and the homes. This community's been here a long time.
If you weren't born and bred in the Valley, generationally, you were an Ausländer, which I believe is a German way or Pennsylvania Dutch way of saying outsider.
And you really need to already be a part of the community in order to reach the community.
When I came here and just God gave me a passion, was I saw an area that kind of was a step back when it comes to time, and yet they care deeply about community. They care deeply about helping people. A valley is an area that deals with drugs, the big city stuff. They deal with broken homes. There's a valley full of people who are broken, who need Christ, and even though this valley has got a lot of church history in it, there still is a lot of people that don't have that relationship with Jesus Christ.
From what we've seen, there's been a lot of churches started and ended in a short period of time. So for one to come, stay, and flourish is really making a difference in the mindset of a lot of people watching.
You're excited about the church and you want to go, hey everybody, we're here. Don't you want to come through our doors? We wanted to come here, and instead of saying, come see us, how can we come and be a part of your lives?
We've been, since I think since the beginning, as part of the Open Link. That's the food bank place in this area. They also do things like helping people get their GEDs, help them write resumes. It's a whole scale.
One of the neat things is we have community in our name, Upper Perk Young Community, and it's very on purpose. It's important to who we're all about. So as we've gotten involved and been here now for 5, going on 6 years, we've been able to really build relationships with different community organizations.
This church gives so much, not only to its members, but to the community and surrounding communities and the world.
We're constantly trying to grow in that. We're constantly trying to be involved and see that, let this community know that, hey, not only does our church care, but we have a God that, draws that out from us and shows us that we do care.
Again, just to find different ways we can say, we love you, we're here, and we want to be a part of your lives. But if they never come through our doors, but we can impact them for Christ's kingdom, I'm excited about that.
We just continue to pray that God just gives us opportunities and kind of wisdom to see those needs, to see where we're effective, and to continue to definitely be purposeful in pouring into the community.
I look forward to coming to UPCC each Sunday.
Come and visit.
We will be a light upon this hill, vessels we know only He can fill, so the glory of our Father can be seen from the valley. From the valley.
Thank you for watching the video, and I hope that it's been an encouragement to you as you've heard the God story of what we feel like is Upper Perk Community Church's story. And I hope that you'll just be blessed and encouraged by it, and it'll be used of the Lord to help you in some way in your life. If we can help in any way, please go to our website, www.upcconline.org.